Have you ever looked at a giant skyscraper or a satellite orbiting the Earth and just wondered, how did they do that? Well, it's not magic, that's for sure. It's a really powerful discipline working behind the scenes. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the world of project management. Okay, so take a look at these. You've got building a massive new railway, launching a new AI app, creating a university degree. I mean, on the surface, they seem like they have absolutely nothing in common, right? But what if I told you they all depend on the exact same core discipline to even have a chance of succeeding? And it all comes down to one single idea. They are all projects. Now, that's a word we throw around all the time, but in the world of getting really big, important things done, it has a very specific and I mean very powerful meaning. So let's get into it. All right, first things first. What actually is a project? The most important thing to get right away is that a project is not your normal day-to-day, business-as-usual kind of work. It's something different. Okay, here it is, the official definition from what's called the Project Management Body of Knowledge, or the PMBOK. Now, there are two words here that are just absolutely crucial: temporary and unique. Temporary means it has a definite beginning and a definite end. And unique means the goal is to create something brand new, something that hasn't been done in that exact way before. This chart just breaks it down perfectly. You see, projects are all about creating change. They're temporary, they're unique, and, they're often full of uncertainty. Operations, on the other hand, are about keeping things running. They're ongoing, repetitive, and way more predictable. Think of it like this: the project builds the car, but operations is the person who drives it and maintains it every day. In fact, let me give you a super simple analogy that makes this crystal clear. This is it right here. Actually, constructing that new motorway, that's the project. It's a huge, temporary effort with a very clear finish line. But once it's built, well, someone's got to maintain it for the next 50 years, right? Patching potholes, managing traffic, that is the operation. It's the continuous work that keeps delivering the value that the project first created. Okay, so we've nailed down what a project is, but why does managing them the right way matter so much? Well, because this is how a company's big, ambitious strategy actually gets turned into something real. And here is the absolute key. Modern project management is not just about finishing a task. It is all about achieving a result. The output is the thing you built, the fancy new website. But the outcome, that's the real prize. That's the 40% jump in sales. Projects are the engines that deliver real value. For decades, project success was all about something called the Iron Triangle. It was simple. Did you finish on time? Did you stay on budget? And did you deliver everything you said you would? The scope. It's a neat and tidy little model. But here's the problem. You can check all three of those boxes: time, cost, and scope, and still have a project that is a complete and total failure. So you have to ask, is that really the best we can do for defining success? No way. It's not even close. Today, the definition of success is just so much bigger. Did our customers and stakeholders actually like the thing we built? Did we actually get that 40% sales increase we were aiming for? Can we keep this thing running long term? And maybe most importantly, did this project actually help our organization's main mission? You see, success is a multi-dimensional beast now. So how do you actually guide a project from just being a cool idea all the way to a successful outcome? Well, there's a pretty well-traveled roadmap for this journey, and it's usually broken down into 5 distinct phases. It all starts with initiation, basically asking, is this even a good idea? Should we do this? Then you move into planning, where you map out every single little detail. Execution is when the team really gets their hands dirty and does the work. But at the same time, you have monitoring and control, which is all about constantly asking, are we still on track? And finally, you get to closure, where you wrap it all up and hand over the keys. Now, it's so easy to picture that as just a straight line, one step after the other. But the reality, it's much more like this. It's a continuous cycle. You plan a little, you do a little, you check your progress, and guess what? That checking feeds right back into your plan. It's a living, breathing process, not some rigid one-way street. And of course, not all projects are created equal. I mean, building a house is a totally different challenge than building a new mobile app. That's exactly why project managers have this whole toolkit of different approaches or methodologies, each one designed for a very specific kind of problem. So for something really predictable like construction where you know the steps, you might use a classic approach like PMBOK. For big government projects that need a super strong business case, you'll often see something called Prince 2. But when things are changing all the time, like in software development, Agile is king. And honestly, more and more, what we're seeing is a hybrid approach, kind of the new default that mixes that upfront planning with tons of flexibility. Now, with all this talk about processes and tools, it can be really easy to forget the single most important ingredient, the person who is actually leading the charge. And believe me, the role of the project manager has changed a lot. Back in the day, you might have pictured a project manager as someone kind of buried in paperwork, just building schedules and checking off boxes on a Gantt chart. But today, a great project manager is a strategic leader. They need a skill set that goes way, way beyond just making a timeline. You can really boil their skills down into three main buckets. First, yeah, of course they need the technical skills, the planning, the budgeting, the risk analysis. But just as important, if not more important, are the leadership skills. Things like negotiation, motivating a team, and handling conflict. And then, layered on top of all of that, are the strategic skills. Really understanding the business and making sure the project delivers real, lasting value. So, where does this all go from here? I mean, this field is always evolving, always changing thanks to new tech and new business demands. So let's take a quick peek at a few of the big trends that are shaping the future of how we get things done. AI is becoming a huge partner for project managers, helping them predict delays and spot risks way before they become huge problems. Sustainability is no longer just a nice-to-have, it's becoming a core measure of a project's success. And as AI starts to handle more of the technical stuff, those human skills, leadership, communication, empathy, they become the real game changers. And all of this leads to a really powerful final thought. We are entering an era that people are starting to call the project economy. What that means is that the main way companies are creating value and driving change is through projects. This isn't some niche back office skill anymore. It's quickly becoming the very heart of modern work. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. In a world that is literally being built, one project at a time, where every single great idea is really just a project waiting to happen, what change will you lead?